Thought we'd start off the program today talking about fat. For the last few months, I've been doing presentations on the ketogenic diet, which is a high-fat diet. Well, it's a high-fat, low-calorie diet, and that's very important. High-fat in the context of low calories and low-carb. High-fat, low-calorie, low-carb diet. It's got all kinds of health benefits. The ketogenic diet is becoming more and more popular for folks who want to lose weight, for diabetics, for people who have Alzheimer's disease issues. It's got anti-cancer properties. And if you're a performance athlete, the ketogenic diet is something that you want to know about. It's great for building muscle and helping improve performance. What most people call fat is technically called a triglyceride, and there's actually three types of fats or three types of triglycerides. These things come in various lengths or various sizes, short, medium, and long. As these things get longer, they become more substantial. The shorter ones are made in the large intestine. They're kind of volatile. And these short ones, these short-chain fatty acids, or short-chain fats as they call them, help energize cells, particularly the cells of the digestive tract. And it turns out that eating foods that contain these short-chain fats can be very helpful for digestive health, and that includes butter and dairy. In fact, butter is probably the most important way to build your short-chain fats up. We get the term butter from the term butyric acid. That's the technical name for one of these short fats. And the butyric acid actually acts like a fuel that helps regenerate and helps energize the cells of the large intestine. The hardest fats for the body to process are the long-chain fats. That doesn't necessarily make them a problem. It just means there's more work to do for the body to help process and handle these kinds of fats. And there's also more things that can go wrong. These long-chain fats are very unstable. They break down quickly. And that's one of the problems with ingesting too much or ingesting vegetable oil at all. This is what Dr. Wallach talks about all the time. He's referring to the instability and the easy way these things break down into free radicals. And that's the problem with doing too much vegetable oil. These long-chain fats can be stored. They can also feed the wrong kinds of bacteria. If you're dealing with something called dysbiosis, or messed up gut bacteria, that can cause a problem with how you process these long-chain fats. If you have intestinal issues, liver disease, these long-chain fats are all going to put a load on the digestive tract that may not be in your interest. Same is true if you're missing a gallbladder. On the other hand, the medium-chain fats, so-called MCTs, these require less gallbladder contraction. If you've had yours removed, you might want to make sure that you're supplementing with some MCT fats, medium-chain triglyceride fats. Then we come to the saturated fats. The saturated fats have traditionally been used in baking. The most well-known of the saturated fats, lard, was and is considered to be a delicacy. Lard actually has a lot of unsaturated liquid fats in it too. About 45% of it is liquid, unsaturated fat, as opposed to butter, which is only about 2 to 20%, or 20 to 25% unsaturated fat. Lard also has 1/3 less saturated fat than butter, around 40% saturated fat. Butter has around 60% saturated fat. Lard is really prized in the baking industry. Its chemical structure allows it to trap air effectively, and this gives foods like pie crust and fried chicken light and fluffy texture. And for centuries, these qualities have given lard a flavor that has been appreciated by sophisticated chefs and foodies and eating connoisseurs around the world. The stability of these kinds of fats, butter and lard, and their relative resistance to heat damage compared to the long-chain fats that you get from vegetable oils makes them very valuable, and it really makes them valuable for extracting nutrients from vegetables. As we get older, our ability to process fats and fatty vitamins out of vegetables and also fruits becomes compromised. The situation can become worse if you had a gallbladder removed, if you have intestinal or liver diseases, or if you have deficiencies in stomach acid. You need that stomach acid, friends. If you have deficiencies in stomach acid, that can cause problems extracting nutrients from vegetables. But if you mix your veggies with some lard or with some butter and put just a tiny little bit of heat or perhaps a little bit of steam, you'll pull out those phytonutrients, those plant nutrients, and make it easier for your body to access them. You throw in a little salt and you throw in some spices, and these kinds of vegetables made with lard and made with butter can become downright irresistible. And this is important, especially for the skin, because many of the nutrients that are found in vegetables and that come out in the fat, in the butter, and in the lard, if you're using those, are skin protective. They can help build collagen, and they can also help keep away wrinkles and minimize UV damage, ultraviolet damage that can come from the sun. Fatty molecules, oily molecules, they're a little bit tricky for the body to absorb, and that means when the digestive system breaks down, as it does with age, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to be dealing with fat malabsorption, and that's why you want to make sure that you're using your ultimate enzymes with fatty meals, fatty foods. If you decide that you want to mix your butter or lard with some vegetables to help extract or pull out those fatty nutrients, make sure you use some of the ultimate enzymes. The ultimate enzymes contain bile salts, they contain pancreatin, and these are both very valuable. Something else called lipase. These are all very valuable if you're going to be increasing the amount of fat that you're using in your diet, especially if you're going to go ketogenic. Also, of course, you want to make sure that you're using your ultimate nightly essence, which is important for fat metabolism as well. All right, we'll take a quick commercial break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Got lines open for you at 831-685-1080. Also, 888-379-2552, toll free. We'll be back on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program right after this. Don't go away. I'll be sitting in for the next 40 minutes or so, as I always do on the show, with my good friend and colleague, Doug Winfrey. Hello there, Douglas.
Great to have you back on the show.
Thank you.
And speaking of prescription and over-the-counter drugs, I've got a CNN story here headlined, Popular Heartburn Medications Linked to Higher Risk of Stroke. They say sometimes solving one problem only creates another, and I would say contend that that's probably true for most drugs. They say millions of Americans take proton pump inhibitors to treat acid reflux and heartburn, known as PPIs. They're among the most prescribed drugs in the United States and are widely available over-the-counter. There was research presented at the American Heart Association conference. They say medications may also increase the risk of ischemic strokes. Ischemic strokes are the most common type of stroke, according to the CDC. They occur when blood clots cut off the blood flow to the brain. PPIs have been associated with unhealthy vascular function in the past, including heart attacks, kidney disease, and dementia. According to Dr. Thomas Sehested, the lead author and researcher at the Danish Heart Foundation, said, "We wanted to see if PPIs also posed a risk of ischemic stroke, especially given their increased use in the general population." The research was conducted in Denmark among 250,000 patients who suffered from stomach pain and indigestion. One of four PPIs were taking one of four PPIs, Prilosec, Protonix, Prevacid, or Nexium. And they say stroke risk increased 21% among patients who were taking a PPI. At the lowest doses, there was minimal increased risk of stroke. At the highest doses, they found the stroke risk increased 33% for Prilosec and Prevacid. Patients taking Nexium, 50%, and patients on Protonix, 79% increased risk of stroke. According to Procter & Gamble, a company that makes Prilosec, they say the drug is an FDA-approved, safe, and effective remedy to relieve frequent heartburn symptoms. Maker of Prevacid, Takata, said that they had no comment. And AstraZeneca, maker of Nexium, has said the patient safety is an important priority, and we believe all PPI medications are generally safe. And Pfizer, maker of Protonix, did not respond to the comment.
Well, of course not. And I love the idea that these things are safe because the FDA says they're safe.
Yeah, and how many other drugs like Celebrex that was approved by the FDA, and
you can't have a safe drug. You can't have a safe drug.
No, you can't.
It's not possible. You can maybe mitigate the toxicity, but every drug is going to come complete with side effects, and that's the ones we know about. I wonder how many times people just have a heart attack and they never attribute it to their PPI drugs. You know, these are side effects that people know, that drug companies know about because they occur during testing, but we don't know about heart attacks or strokes or other disease diagnoses that are associated with long-term use of prescription drugs. Say you're on a prescription drug for a PPI, for example, for months or for years, and then you end up with osteoporosis. Is anybody going to know that it was the PPI that caused the osteoporosis? Oh, by the way, Doug, how do these PPI drugs work? They suppress stomach acid. And this is the logic of the drug companies, to suppress stomach acid. Oh, you got some GERD? You got some heartburn? It feels like the acid is splashing back up? Well, let's just shut down the acid. Oh, you got cholesterol in your arteries? Oh, let's just shut down the production of cholesterol. Oh, you got some inflammation because your body is in agony and it's trying to fix itself, so it's inflaming? Oh, let's shut down the inflammatory process. This is the pharmacomedical logic that Dr. Wallach and myself and other wise healthcare practitioners have been railing against for the last 30 or 40 or even 50 years. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie radio program. Have you heard of this new drug, Repatha, Douglas? The new cholesterol drug that you inject?
No, I haven't checked that one.
It's an injectable cholesterol drug. Guess how much this stuff costs? You'll never guess. This is ridiculous.
$1,000 a shot.
Pretty much. $14,000 a year to lower your cholesterol.
And you got to go once a month or so?
I think you do it at home. Or maybe you do have to go in once a month. I'm not sure how they have you injecting this stuff. But I'm telling you, folks, if you are on this drug, or if your doctor suggests that you take this drug or use this injectable drug, your doctor has drank the Kool-Aid, because this is one of the stupidest things anybody could ever do to themselves. Even though yesterday an article came out, it was published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA's, where was this? Results published in the Journal of the American Medical Association that said Repatha can supposedly help remove cholesterol from your arteries. So the idea being that when we poison the system and we get cholesterol, we stop the body from making cholesterol, you'll be better off for it. Wrong. You will not be better off for it. You'll just be $14,000 out of pocket if you're paying for it at the end of the year. The fact of the matter is, heart disease is not an issue of cholesterol. Cholesterol is in the arteries to help repair leaky, weak blood vessels. And if you stop the body from making cholesterol, your body may not have the cholesterol to patch up the leaky, weak blood vessels, but that doesn't mean you're going to be better off for it. And this highlights the very fundamentally wrong idea of using prescription drugs to make yourself better. I'm telling you this as a pharmacist, as a guy who's been studying drugs for 35 years now, folks. Since 1982, I've been studying prescription drugs, and I'm telling you, you cannot be better off from a long-term health perspective by taking a drug, even if you get statistical or metric changes. Just because this drug stops cholesterol from being produced and stops cholesterol from clogging up the arteries doesn't mean you're going to be healthier for it. You need cholesterol. Cholesterol is arguably the body's most important molecule. It's involved in keeping the skin healthy. It's involved in making hormones. It's involved in making vitamin D. Oh, by the way, do you know vitamin D is actually a form of cholesterol? Do you know your steroid hormones, testosterone and estrogen and progesterone and the stress hormone cortisol, are really forms of cholesterol? So when you take a statin drug or when you use Repatha, you may not have the cholesterol to patch up your leaky, weak blood vessels, but you're not going to have cholesterol to heal your skin. You're not going to have cholesterol to keep your brain healthy. You're not going to have cholesterol to keep your muscles healthy. You're not going to have cholesterol to make steroid hormones. And this highlights the very flawed idea of the pharmacomedical model that somehow has us believing that we can be better off by taking a prescription drug. It's not true now. It's never been true, and it never will be true. On the other hand, if you get yourself on a good nutritional supplement program, not only will you find that the target organ, the part of your body, the system of your body that you're attempting to heal or you're attempting to improve is going to get better, but all other health markers will improve as well. Not only do you not get side effects with a nutritional supplement program, you get beneficial effects as well. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie radio program. We're coming back with more good health information and you and your phone calls. Got a couple lines open for you, by the way. 831-685-1080 is our priority line number. 888-379-2552, toll free. Don't go away. Got more good stuff coming at you right after this commercial break. Who is first on the line, Douglas?
All right, let's head to Charlotte, North Carolina. And Barbara, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
What's up, Barbara?
I'm on the phone. Hi.
Hey.
My question is about using caffeine with the EFAs. Why can't you use caffeine?
You got me on that one. You're saying you can't use caffeine with the EFAs?
That's what one of the brochures say. Yeah.
Douglas, do you know anything about that? I don't see a
That's
problem.
the first I heard of it.
that's the first. Are
Apparently,
you sure
somewhere
about
on the label of the EFAs, it says to avoid caffeine. It may be just a general inference on staying away from caffeine.
You know what, Barbara? I don't see why that would be. I'm not sure what they're thinking, so I'm going to have to take a pass on that.
You're
but
safe,
I don't see.
then.
Yeah, I don't see why that would be. I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay. Oh, I'll tell you where I got that from. When I completed the health profile on
The genetic one?
internet.
Is that the genetic one?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. They may have.
Yes.
Yeah, that might be for you in particular. Sometimes, and this is a question for Sanjeev probably, who put the genetic profile together. Have you heard about this genetic profile, Douglas? By the way,
No.
it's a new system. It's a new a program that Longevity has where you can actually test your genetics, and based on a genetic report, you can find out how you personally respond to specific supplements, to specific health strategies, and also apparently to specific over-the-counter substances like caffeine. And Barbara, that may have been just your genetic profile. I don't see a general reason why there would be an interaction between the two.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Fine. No, that answers my question.
Okay, good deal. Thanks so much for your call. Appreciate it. From Charlotte, North Carolina. Have yourself a beautiful, blessed day. Thanks for calling, Barbara. Who's next on the line, Doug?
All right, let's head to Los Angeles, California. And John, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
What's up, John?
Yes. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How's it going today? How can we help you?
Well, I'm trying to reverse my diabetes. I was they check, you check your system, and the doctor tells you what level you're at. I was once before at 14. Now I'm at 7, and I just want to get. I'm tired of needles. I'm tired of pills.
I don't blame you.
I just want to. I want to know what I need to do because I called up this organization which you're very familiar with, which is 90 for Life.
Yes,
And
that's
they
us.
come and call you because
Okay.
there's I want to clean my liver.
Well,
because
let's
once I
get you.
clean-
Let's get you started on the blood sugar. Your liver will start to improve once you take care of your blood sugar. Now, you said you went from a 14 to a 7. I assume you're talking about your hemoglobin A1C?
Yeah, I used to be 14 high, and now I'm at 7.
That's awesome. How did you do that, by the way?
I just started watching what I consume.
Good for you. Isn't that funny? I mean, I hear you laughing, John, and it is kind of funny because that's all you got to do. We get this idea that we're cursed with diabetes and we're condemned for the rest of our life to be on glucophage and to be on drugs, and it's a hard problem to take care of. Listen, it is one of the easiest things you can do to reverse diabetes, to help improve your body's ability to process sugar and lower your hemoglobin A1C. It's one of the easiest things to do in all of the world of health. And you hit the nail on the head, John. You simply watch what you consume. Now, in addition, you're going to want to make sure you're using some supplements. But the number one thing is watch the kind of foods you eat, particularly when it comes to carbs, refined carbohydrates, especially sugars and breads and pastas and all the foods we love. Of course, it's easier said than done. But from a biological perspective, it's one of the simplest things you could do is reverse diabetes. So you're on the right track, John. Hang with us throughout the break, through the break, and I will get you some good nutritional supplements that you can use to help further your improvement and your recovery from the diagnosis of diabetes. Thanks for your call. Appreciate it. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to the Dead Doctor. Hi, we're back on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. 831-685-1080 is our priority line number. 888-379-2552, toll free. We're talking to John about diabetes. John in Los Angeles. Do we still have John on the line?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, buddy. So congratulations, first of all. That's awesome that simply by watching what you consumed, you dropped your hemoglobin A1C by half from 14 to 7. That's awesome. Let's get it down a little further by getting you on a good nutritional supplement program. Number 1, get yourself on the Sweeties. Do 2 or 3 capsules after your meals. Number 2, make sure you're using the Ultimate Niacin. We talked about cholesterol earlier. I forgot to mention that the Ultimate Niacin is a great nutritional strategy for helping lower cholesterol naturally. Niacin is also important for blood sugar control, so make sure you're using an Ultimate Niacin every day. Also, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine with thiamine and niacin will help lower your blood sugar. Make sure you're using the Beyond Tangy Tangerine throughout the day. Of course, the whole Healthy Start Pack is important. Your Ultimate EFAs and magnesium, they also have blood sugar lowering effects. And then last but most certainly not least, when it comes to helping lower blood sugar, in addition to reducing your intake of sugar and using nutritional supplementation, getting yourself on a good exercise program and making sure you're increasing your hydration, increasing water. The amount of water that you drink can also have beneficial effects on lowering your blood sugar as well as your blood cholesterol and body fat too. Thanks so much for your call, John, and congratulations. That's really awesome news. Everybody with diabetes or anybody with diabetes out there, you got to listen up. Nobody has to be condemned to this horrible health challenge that is responsible, the third or fourth leading cause of death, that's responsible for literally tens of thousands of people's early demises. So unfortunate and so tragically unnecessary. All right, 831-685-1080 is our priority line number, 888-379-2552, toll free. Who's next on the line, Doug?
Let's head to Pacific Grove, California, and Roger, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hey, Roger.
Hello, Pharmacist Ben. I
What's
really
going
enjoy
on?
your program, and I've been listening to it for years.
Thank you. Appreciate it. This isn't my program, though. I can't take credit for it, but I'm
I know,
honored
but
to be part of it.
I love listening to you because you come out and give us some solutions, and we'll actually mention certain things that are beneficial.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I have been taking a lot of the Dr. Wallach products over the years, but every time I go to the doctor, I got a blood test, and he looks at my triglycerides, and he says, it's not, you don't have to worry about cholesterol so much as you have an inflammation problem.
Nice. That's smart, doctor. I like that.
Yeah. He said, and so in order, so you don't keep building the plaque up, from the inflammation and the cholesterol patching up the inside of the arteries, he said we need to really do something about this. I tried to do it naturally by taking red rice yeast and magnesium and vitamin K2 and all that.
You're taking these in the interest of keeping the inflammation down?
Yeah.
All right, so let me get you some ideas here. You should be using the Ultimate EFAs. In fact, the essential fatty acids are literally the molecules of inflammation. Are you on them already?
But I only take like 1 or 2 a day.
No, 9 a day. Three times a day. 9.
That'll cut down my inflammation?
Heck yes. Well, I shouldn't say that. Those are supplements, the essential fatty acids are responsible for helping control inflammation. But if you have a reason for inflammation, then the body's going to inflame. Here's the thing about inflammation. This is true for everybody listening, because all chronic degenerative diseases have an inflammation component. And here's the thing about inflammation. Inflammation's your friend. You like inflammation. You need inflammation. You want inflammation. Inflammation is how the body protects itself. So the question isn't inflammation, it's why is there inflammation? You follow me? What is the body protecting itself from? Why is there too much inflammation? Why is there chronic inflammation? The inflammatory process itself is important. It's a critical part of being a human being because we're subject to assaults, to being beat up by foods and by traumas and by mental and emotional issues. Our biochemistry eventually causes the body to break down. And this leads to an inflammatory protective response. The question isn't to shut down the inflammation, it's to figure out why it's there. Does that make sense? You with me on this?
He said I'm a super absorber, and he wants me to take Zetia and Prevacid.
What does that mean? Well, if he's telling you to take Zetia, then I take that back as far as my compliments to his intelligence, because this is not a Zetia issue. This is not a drug issue. That's the whole point. Now, listen, what does he mean super absorber? I didn't quite catch that.
I tend to be, my gut absorbs extremely small particles.
Oh, okay.
More so than the average person.
Okay, that's not leak. That's not a super absorber. That's a problem. That's a reason to patch up the gut. That's called leaky gut. What he means is that little tiny particles. This is what leaky gut syndrome. Have you ever heard of that term, leaky gut syndrome? Leaky gut syndrome.
And I drink like
Have you ever heard of that term?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so that means you get little holes that develop in the digestive tract lining, and then particles of food, quite literally, particles of food, microscopic as they may be, enter into the blood, and that's where you run into a problem. So what you want to do, and this is really true all the time, whenever you have a health challenge, what you want to do is first focus on the intestine. When I say the gut, I mean the intestine, the small intestine particularly. And that means use all kinds of nutrients, including the nightly essence and the Fucoid Z from Longevity, as well as the glucogel caps. All of these can help restore the health and the integrity of the gut or the intestinal lining. And that's very important. The next thing you're going to want to do is eliminate any problem foods, that is foods that cause digestive distress. Chicken soup and cartilage, real chicken soup that is, made with the chicken bones can help. Anything with aloe vera or noni. We have a wonderful noni product at Longevity. That can also help. All of these have a nice soothing and healing quality that will help support the integrity and strength of the digestive tract lining. So forget super absorber. I never heard of that term, but you may good and well have a problem with leaky gut. So work on that, and that could cause the inflammation. And then keep in mind that you don't want to necessarily suppress the inflammation. And tell this to your doctor, by the way, and see what he says. You don't want to suppress the inflammation. You want to figure out why the inflammation is there. Thanks for your call. Appreciate it. And I hope we helped you out there. Roger, who's next on the line, Doug?
Let's head to Simi Valley, California. And Janet, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Simi
Hi.
Valley.
Yes,
like
Simi Valley.
How's it going? Simi,
We're
hear me,
doing
touch me.
fine. Yes, I can. I have a question about seizure activity in children.
Yes.
I have two grandsons who have seizure activity.
Got two
being
words
sort of
for you. Ketogenic diet. But go ahead. I'm sorry. We'll talk about that in a second.
Ketogenic diet.
Have you heard of that?
No.
Oh, you should. You should know about it. But I didn't mean to interrupt you. Why don't you continue, and then I'll tell you about it.
Okay. One of them just started having seizures like a year ago, and he's only 6. The other one was a stroke at birth.
Oh, my.
And then has had diagnosed
Seizures?
with, he has constant seizures.
Oh,
so
that's
they've got
terrible.
him on,
Dilantin?
marijuana oil.
Is he on the CBD oil?
He is.
How's he doing with that?
Well, he looks stoned.
No. The CBD, it shouldn't get him stoned unless he's really sensitive. Is it CBD or is it really marijuana?
It's CBD.
Okay. So he does look stoned, though?
He does.
How old is he?
He's 6.
Does he say anything? Like
He does.
fuzzy-headed?
He's a constant talker.
No. I mean, does he say anything about the CBD? Does he want to listen to the Grateful Dead or wear tie-dye T-shirts or anything? I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
Oh, no. Nothing like that.
No, I'm just teasing.
That's
Does he?
funny.
I was kidding. Though. Does he say anything though about like being lightheaded or feeling weird or anything?
No, I don't think he's really in contact with his overall feelings.
Okay, gotcha. Well, here's a couple of things for you. And I've heard wonderful things, by the way, about CBD for seizure disorders. But whenever you have a seizure disorder, the first thing, if you want to go non-medical, the first thing you want to know about is the ketogenic diet. Now, I've been talking about the ketogenic diet for the last couple of years, especially the last few months. Doc's been talking about it, although he hasn't called it the ketogenic diet. He's been talking about it for decades. The ketogenic diet is a high-fat, low-calorie diet. And before the ketogenic diet became well known as a weight loss diet, as an Alzheimer's disease diet, as an anti-cancer diet, as a high-performance diet for athletes, the ketogenic diet was known as an anti-seizure diet. In fact, that's why it was developed by the Mayo Clinic, no less, and by the mainstream medical model before drugs came around. And we'll talk about that when we come back from our break. So don't go away. We'll address seizure disorders in children. We'll talk about the ketogenic diet and get you some good nutritional strategies. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. We'll take a quick commercial break and come back with more of your phone calls right after this. We're back on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're talking to Janet about seizure disorders in children. Janet, are you there, ma'am?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you want to look into the ketogenic diet. That's spelled Ketogenic, And I know it sounds crazy, but it was actually developed to help control seizure disorders before anti-seizure, anticonvulsant medicine came around. It was developed in the 1920s. Researchers have been studying it for years. I'm talking about legitimate medical researchers from Johns Hopkins and from the Mayo Clinic. It's been around for a long, long time, and it's quite effective. So what you want to do is you want to look into the ketogenic diet, which is a high-fat diet. Make sure your kids are eating the kids are eating lots of butter and fatty vegetables, olives, if they'll do olives, and fatty fish is really good as well. Also make sure they're on a good nutritional supplement program that features the B complex, and that's, of course, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. In many ways, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine is a B complex drink. And little kids are notorious for being deficient in the B complex because the B complex of vitamins, in addition to being important for brain health and having anti-seizure properties, the B complex are utilized by the body to process sugar, which means the more carbs and the more sweets and the more sugar and the more soda pop and desserts kids eat, and that includes pasta and potatoes and rice and foods that break down into sugar, the more likely it's going to be that they're going to be deficient in these B complex vitamins. So making sure they're sipping on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine all day long. You might want to try the Ultimate Niacin as well. Magnesium also has wonderful anti-seizure properties. And if you want to do one last thing, it might not be a bad idea to get them on the Fucoid Z or the Z Radical, which is a little bit easier for kids to take because it's kind of sweet. And the Fucoidin in the Z Radical can also help improve circulation as well as, I don't know if it has direct anti-seizure properties, but it can improve oxygenation to the brain. If you can get the kids to slow down a little bit and practice their slow, deep breathing, making sure they're inhaling and exhaling in a nice rhythm. Kids don't always want to do that, but that might help you as well. And last but not least, I would be making sure that they're getting enough omega-3 fatty acids from their Ultimate EFAs, maybe 1 or 2 capsules a day. Thanks for your call. Appreciate it, Janet, and I hope we helped you out. Who's next on the line, Douglas?
All right, let's head to Santa Cruz, California. And Kevin, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
The Kevin?
Nice. Yes, hello?
Is this the Kevin?
This is Kevin. Yes.
Kevin. The Kevin, my friend Kevin?
No, I don't.
No, another Kevin. Well,
yeah.
You're my friend now. You're officially my friend, Kevin.
That's good.
What's going on,
Kevin? I'm kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. I have to have some dental work done, and they won't do it because my blood pressure's too high. And so it's like until I can get my blood pressure down, I'm kind of stuck.
All right. Let's get your blood pressure down for you. Let's get it down immediately, and then we'll get you down in the long term. The fastest way to lower your blood pressure is to sit in a hot bath. Now, obviously, you got to get out of the bathtub sooner or later, right? You can't stay in there forever. Right. But you can do 2 baths a day, and that will lower your blood pressure, and there'll be some residual lowering when you get out of the tub. Hot shower will do the same thing if you don't want to spend time in the bath. So will slow, deep breathing. Those are 3 ways to lower your blood pressure instantly, and I mean instantly. In fact, if you're already on a beta blocker or calcium channel blocker, and then you try to sit in a hot bath, your blood pressure will drop so significantly you may get a little dizzy or woozy when you stand up out of the tub. That's how significant the antihypertensive effect of hot water is, or immersion in hot water. Same with just sit in the bathtub. Just soak in the bathtub. Bring a book. Relax. Hypertension is a sign that the body's not relaxed. So anything you do to relax is going to help. Body work, massage will help. Hot water will help. Oxygenation or deep breathing will help. And then there's nutritional supplements that are terrific for lowering blood pressure. Probably, well, I don't say the most important, but one of the most important is the Ultimate Niacin from Longevity. You should be doing 1 of those or 2 of those every day. Make sure you're using the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. The B complex that's so important for the brain is also important for lowering blood pressure. Likewise, the electrolytes that you get in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the potassium, for example, the magnesium, all have anti-hypertensive properties, so make sure you're sipping on the BTT. Of course, your Beyond Osteo is going to help too. That's got the magnesium, and then your Ultimate EFAs will help as well. Make sure you're using 9 capsules a day, 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, 3 at night. If you're a sugar eater, weaning yourself off of sugar will also help. Likewise, going on the Sweet Ease, which can help your body process sugar a little bit more effectively. That's all the time we have for today. I'm so sorry if we left you on hold. Thanks for listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. I'm Pharmacist Ben for Doc and for Doug Winfrey and for all the folks at the ZBS Radio Network. Have an awesome, wonderful, beautiful, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.